Welcome to the First Look seminar. Georgie, my man, with the Folds of Honor hat. And not to rehash that, but George, what a time we had at the Folds of Honor event. Can't wait for the next one.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
We raised $40,000+ in that event. And so, man, congratulations to everybody involved. Chappie, you and Skip were instrumental to making this a wonderful event, and everybody had a great time. And it was a bad weekend; it was a tough weekend, and we still managed to come through with a wonderful tournament, and everybody had a great time.
Yeah, Skipper, it was a great one. I'm hoping you're looking forward to the next one because it really is. We always say it's for a great cause, and obviously that's the most important thing. But how fun is that event?
You know, I knew it would be fun, but I didn't think it would be as much fun as it was. And I had a great time, and it was a great turnout, and a lot of great people, met really nice people, and it was a lot of fun. I can't wait till the next one.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's turn the page, gentlemen. We won't take too long today. We're just going to kind of look more at the Belmont card. Usually we're all about Santa Anita, but it is Belmont Day. Plenty of graded stakes to go over, so we might as well get right to it. Let's go to race 3, the Grade 1 Acorn. Skipper, any thoughts in here? As we go along the way, you know, of course, we'll talk about your singles, who not. Is Echo Zulu a single for you in here in a small field?
You know what? I think so. I love the post position draw. I love that she's cutting back to a 1-turn mile. I think she's better around 1 turn, although she's won around 2 turns. I love her outside draw, Rosario. I think she's going to get a great trip. Either she's going to go to the front and just keep going, or if somebody decides to go, since she's drawn outside, she can kind of just sit right outside of them and move whenever she wants. I think she's going to be very tough. Obviously, the 4-horse is, you know, it's very sharp. It's won 3 in a row, but I don't think it's in the class of Echo Zulu.
Georgie, Echo Zulu 4 for 4 on the dirt. What are the sheet numbers saying? Or is My Tarea, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, catching up on the sheet numbers, or Echo Zulu a standout?
I'm definitely singling in this race. I'm singling the 4. Matareya is who I'm singling. That's right. The thorograph numbers point to this one as far superior, if you could believe it, to Echo Zulu. Far superior.
Wow.
The last 2 races were stellar. You got Flavian Pratt. The only loss recently was to Secret Oath. And, of course, Secret Oath beat Echo Zulu as well. I'm telling you what, Pratt is a beast. I know Rosario is also a beast, but I think Pratt's going to have a big day. Brad Cox is an animal. I think Matareya, to me, is going to be a single in the early pick 4 that starts at race 2.
Well, George is going to be doing the A Matarena if he wins.
Matarena.
All right, well, we are stock full of graded stakes, so let's move on right on to race 4 there. Georgie, the Longines Just a Game. What are your thoughts in here? One of our shippers who's very, very fast early, legs galore, shipping out for Phil D'Amato, as you like to call him, the Lord of the Lawn, or the Sultan of Sod.
Sod, yeah.
Does he have a shot in here, George, at a big price?
Yeah, I don't think so. But I think this is, although she's won going long, I think she's a sprinter, a fast sprinter. It just barely hung on in the Buena Vista. Now she meets the likes of Regal Glory, who has won 3 in a row and ridiculously fast thorograph numbers, far superior to the 1. In fact, the only one that even comes close is Speak of the Devil, another one with Flavian Pratt and Chad Brown. So I think it's a 2-horse race between the 2 and the 3. Not much value in the race, of course. I'm not giving you any secrets, but those are the 2 I like.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Skipper. Going a mile on this turf course, Legs Galore is going to open up by about 7 early, probably, and
yeah,
like she's done in the past. No one has that type of speed early, but will she be around late?
Yeah, that's asking an awful lot of her, but she is definitely quick, and we know she'll be way in front. I like a horse in here. I like the 4 in Italian. I know it got beat by Speak of the Devil last race, but I've been a big fan of an Italian. I bet it every time. And, last time it looked like at the radio show on the way home, we were watching it in the car. It looked like she was gone. And Speak of the Devil made this huge move on the turn and just won under wraps. But, I think maybe the 3 could maybe have a little Euro bounce in there. You always got to be worried about that. And then it said it was on a firm turf course. And it wasn't firm because it was raining, and the jockeys came back and said it was wet and slippery. And so it had some give in it. That wasn't firm. And I think with the firm turf course we're going to get tomorrow, I think in Italian's going to sit off Legs Galore, get first run on these other ones. And I loved what Chad Brown said. He said in Italian didn't care for the loose ground last race, and it worked really, really good with older male, high-class male, that is, Mason of his. It was outworked, but it was under a real big hold and galloped out really good. I'm going to take a shot with In Italian, getting first jump on the other 2 Chad Browns and sitting off Legs Galore.
Interesting that both of those horses are owned by Peter Brandt as well. And yes, we did need an Italian for our life the last time. And it's tough, Georgie, when you're driving in the car and you're watching on the phone and they swoop right on by, which just happened moments ago at Golden Gate to us, Georgie.
Yeah.
So on to the Brooklyn, the race 5 here. 1.5 miles, George. Are we going to get some value finally? It looks like it could be a little chalky so far, although you guys are trying to beat the favorite in every race so far, which I love.
I'm going to throw away this chalky racer. Throw it away. I like number 2, Max Player. I think Max Player is going to be a player. A lot of layoff lines. If you look at the PPs, obviously has had some physical issues, but every now and then throws in a monster performance. In Saratoga, in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, that was he ran a -2 on the sheets by far. If he runs back to that, it's going to be awesome. May have needed that last race in the Ali Sheba. I'm hoping that is going to go back to revert to some of those fast races like the Suburban. So I'm taking a shot. I think Ortiz has got a live one here, and it's going to be all of 6-1.
Yeah, Skipper, what are you thinking here at Max Player 6-1? Nice price. We've got actually, other than got a couple lukewarm. I guess the 1 to 2-1 is the morning line favorite. What are your thoughts here, buddy?
The one Lone Rock is an absolute freak around this distance. It's had 6 starts at this distance. It's won 5 and ran second. I think there's other speed going from the rail. I think they're going to have to send this horse with Vasquez. I think the 5 First Constitution is going to also go. So I think maybe they could hook up. I don't really like Warrant. I don't think Warrant wants to go this far, and I didn't like his last race. I think maybe shipping over to Santa Anita and running so big in the Santa Anita handicap, then shipping back, maybe it just took a little bit out of this horse. I think the 7, Fearless, is going to get a great trip. First run on the other ones. I like Fearless. I will love the added distance. Saez is riding it. I think Max Player's also got a big shot in there. I like the 2 and the 7 the most, and I would even throw in the 4, the other Pletcher, that if they do hook up in a speed duel and maybe the 7 even gets close to these horses, maybe the 4 could come running along with Max Player. So I'm going to use a couple in there.
I like it. Not often do we say we are against a horse with Brad Cox and Flavian Pratt.
Right.
But
I might have put it right in the winner's circle.
I like taking those stands, though, buddy.
I want to say that those are the 2 that I like the best as well. I think Fearless is going to get a perfect trip. I think, in fact, Fearless is probably I can feel a little bit stronger, a little bit more confident that Fearless is definitely going to run well. Max Player might run well, it might not run well. Fearless, I'm sure, is going to run well, and it is the most the best selection. I think is Fearless.
Right. And I tell you what, if the 1 by chance does not break or they don't send the 1, the 5 could be loose on the lead.
Yeah.
I know the last race was in the slop, but 2 back it was not, and it ran giant that day. This is a good-looking chestnut horse, and if it gets loose on the lead, if the 1 by chance does not go, the 5 could be really tough in there also. I mean, I've talked about what 3 out of the 7, so I'm not giving a whole lot of help.
I like the fact what you guys are talking about with Max Player because, Matthews is no dummy. That horse came off of a layoff, ran a dud, but you go a couple races back and this horse is running giant numbers. This horse is absolutely have to be doing well for him to come back into Brooklyn, and 6-1 could be, let's hope, maybe turn out to be an absolute gift. All right, race 6, we move on to just graded stakes after graded stakes. The Woody Stevens here, Skipper, 1-2 on the morning line on Jack Christopher.
Yeah, and this favorite I definitely will be on. This horse, I was watching it train before it ever ran. And in every morning workout, it never got beat by its company. It always beat its company. This horse does not want to lose. This horse wants to beat you. And not only does it want to beat you, it wants to beat you handily. As you could see, won by 8 3/4 lengths, 2 3/4 lengths. Last time it was bumped at the start, it kind of gave it a little new dimension where it was behind horses. Ortiz put it to the outside and it sat off the leader there and went right by it, Papa Cap. I think the one's going to be very, very tough, and I will be singling this horse. You can't bet it straight because 1-2 odds, but I love Jack Christopher. I think the one's going to be a single on all my tickets for sure.
Georgie, I'm assuming complete standout on the sheets.
Complete standout on the sheets. Very disappointing that he didn't really get on that Triple Crown trail, because I thought he would have been one of the favorites, if not the favorite, in the Kentucky Derby. Incredible races as a 2-year-old, and then a monster effort in the Pat Day Mile. An easy single in all the multi-race bets.
It's comical. You look back, and I know one person who did hit it, but they played a pick 5 on Derby Day, single Jack Christopher, single Jackie's Warrior, and bought the other 3 races, and it paid like $160,000 or whatever.
Jeez.
That would be our one.
Well, that's one of the things when you see a runner like this, you go 1-2. I can't bet him. Yes, you can bet him because he's going to play good. If the pick 6, you could turn it into a pick 5, and it's going to pay massive. I think because it's not going to be Favoriteville all the way through.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? It's got to be your day to get those singles home, and
yeah. Yep.
We all do enough work that no matter how good your opinions are, you could still get beat a nose with a bad trip. The other all races chalk out.
Right.
I watched a race today at Belmont. Just a quick story, and there was like a 3-5. It had the worst trip in the world, and somehow got up by a nose late. And it was like I was thinking, if we would have singled that horse, which we usually single prices, it would have rallied late and missed by a nose and galloped out 10 in front. But that's why they call it gambling, and that's why we all lose our minds sometimes. But we keep coming back. So
and we can all write a book on how we've lost. I mean, I could write a book with 100 chapters on bad beats or how I've got beat. One of my beats at Fairplex Park, I still haven't seen it. I've been going to the track for, 35, 36 years, maybe even longer than that. And this, it was unbelievable. One of my horses got stuck in the gate. Another horse went and opened the gate before the race even got started, like a split second before. Right. And then the guy that holds it in the gate still holding it. So it takes out half the field. And I still don't have it. Those are all my horses that got interfered with. So they gave me the favorite because they declared it a non-starter who I didn't even like the favorite. And then I got bombs on the other end. I still am amazed by how I got beat that day.
I used to think book. Now I think we should do like a Netflix series called Bad Beats, and because there's so many characters in horse racing, and interview the people and then actually show the race on top of it. That would be absolutely comical.
Can I take this moment to put in an advertisement for a fine event we have going on tomorrow right here at Santa Anita? It's you could sample all kinds of delicious wines, soak up a day of racing at Santa Anita. It's called the Wine, Place, and Show Festival, and it's really fitting for horse players because nobody whines more than horse players.
I love it.
Whine. Anyway,
I love it, and it's going to be a little sizzling out here tomorrow, Skip.
Oh man, I expect it to be hot.
Yeah, just drink plenty of wine.
We knew this weather was coming. It was so nice for the last couple weeks, a little, June gloom, and it was just really nice. And now, boy, the summer is here, and I'm ready for winter already, or the fall at least.
Yeah. It's funny. We almost escaped this entire meet. We've had very few really, really hot weekends. It's amazing.
Right.
And let's remind everybody too that next weekend, of course, is closing weekend. So Father's Day will be a special one because it'll be mandatory payouts for everything next Sunday.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So should be terrific. All right, let's move on. The race 7, the Ogden Phipps. Georgie, what are you looking at? Latruska 6-5. And is that a single there, or another small field, but a lot of quality here?
So Jack Christopher to me is a single, and this is the kind of race where it's easy to go all. You could either go single or all, and I'm going all because I really think Latruska is vulnerable here. But, can certainly win, so I don't want to leave her out. But I think she's vulnerable. I think there's other ones that are up-and-comers. Malathat is looking really good of late. So is Clairiere, who, even though Latruska beat her, she can turn the tables on that one. Search Result just ran the best race of her life. I'm using all of them. I think even Bonnie South can win. Sure, Latruska is the one that should win, but I think I thought it was a difficult race, and since it's such a short field, it opens up the option of pressing that all button.
She's certainly going to get bet. She's certainly a win machine, and it looks like she might have a pace advantage, Skip. You think anybody these are one of these, which we're going to get a couple of them here coming up. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you go with her, you might be done. But if you don't, and they all take back, it's lights out.
Right. It's so funny. I always try to beat Latruska, and boy, she's a champion. She's unbelievable. Yeah. I beat her in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, but we got beat by a nose by the Japan horse.
Yeah.
But this horse, it's so funny. I mean, some of her races, she makes her own race because she's got so much speed. But I get so frustrated sometimes with some of the jockeys. It's like they got speed. Go put a pressure on her, because she makes the easy lead and then she's unbeatable. It's like last time they went 23, 47, 111. She was just cruising out there. I said, there's no way they're going to catch her. I know Cece made a move on the turn and looked like it had a shot, but Latruska found another gear. Clairiere came running on late. But I think Search Results, 2 for 2 at Belmont. Chad Brown from the outside, they know that they cannot let Latruska loose.
That's the one, right? Yeah.
That's the only one that could put pressure on her. And I think they're going to do it from the outside. I think they're going to maybe not go head to head, but they're going to be right on her flank, just making her work. And that's why I like Malathot. This horse loves to win. 9 starts, 7 wins. And one of the times it got beat, it had trouble. This horse's last race, it wasn't visually real impressive. It broke from the inside at Keeneland. Velasquez just moved it going into the turn to the outside, so it wouldn't get in any trouble. Another horse came and pushed it out even wider, so it went 4 wide going in the first turn. It didn't have a good trip. On the backside, she was wide, and then all of a sudden, turn for home Velasquez, or not turning for home, but going into the turn, Velasquez just gave her a little chirp, and she made this big move. And then here comes Bonnie South on the outside of her, and looks like Bonnie South's going to blow by. But Malathot didn't switch leads until late. And once she did, she drew off again. Bonnie South was not going to catch her, even on the gallop out. Bonnie South looked like it was getting close. And once she came up alongside of her, Malathot's ears were straight up, and she wasn't going to let anybody past her. I like Malathot. I think it's going to get a great trip. And I love the price at 5-2. And I think I'll get every bit of that because it's a very contentious race.
And I think they're going to pound Latruska. I think we're going to see 3-5 on Latruska, but
and you know what? I'm sorry. Even the 4 Clairiere ran coming off the lap at Fairgrounds. It won under wraps by 6.25 lengths, 6.5 lengths. And then it runs in the Apple Blossom against Latrushka. Coming out of the gate, Latrushka kind of made a right-hand turn, and Rosario had to take up a little bit. So it did have a little trouble in that race. Clairiere is going to be coming running too. I'm thinking Malathaat will get first run on them both, and I love the fight that this horse shows. You look at the past performances. It wins by a length and a 3/4, 7 3/4, 3/4, a head, a neck, loses by a head. This horse has got that fighting mentality and wants to beat you.
All right, now we get to a race where it's very interesting because this looks like the race on paper where we might get a big price. The Jaipur, 6 furlongs on the turf. We got a full field. It looks like there's at least enough speed, at least if you look at True Valor and Arrest Me Red, both have blazing speed. Georgie, where did you end up here with maybe some prices coming?
I like Casa Creed is going to be the one I like the best, but you're right. This is a wide open event. Casa Creed I like a little bit. Scuttlebuzz with Castellano is on a roll. I mean, he's won 3 in a row, 4 out of 5. Filo di Ariana is not out of it. It was undefeated in Brazil. Looked like it was going to be a major player with a big win at Woodbine. I don't know what happened last race, but Filo di Ariana, if he can get back to that, that Woodbine race, he could be a factor. It's just a wide open race. Arrest Me Red has the best last race thoroughgraph number, but I'm looking for value. I like the 4, the 8, and the 9.
Skipper?
This is my spread race also. I'm going to try to make something happen here, and I think this is the race to do it. I think Change of Control, the one horse, has got a big shot. It's won 9 out of 35 races, 8 out of 26. It has that all-important win at Belmont. Last time it made the lead and got caught late by Toby's Heart. Toby's Heart's a real nice horse. It ran today. I don't think it ran too bad. It didn't win. I know that, but that will be one of my long shots. Another long shot I'm going to use is the one that George was talking about, Fiolo di Ariana. This horse is 20-1. Look at its Woodbine race. 7 furlongs. Look at the time. 119.
Wow.
119 for 7 furlongs. Wow. That's wow. Unbelievable. And one easy. And then, last race, maybe, had a little something to do with the turf or whatever, but it didn't run a step. They gave it a little time. It's come back. It's won 4 out of 5 races. This horse at 20-1, I think, has a huge shot. That race at Woodbine, that race wins this race. That's an unbelievable time. I can't believe it's not a track record, Yeah. And then another one I'm going to use is Chasing Artie, the 11 horse. This horse comes out of the same race as Arrest Me Red and Gregorian Chant. This horse had a severe stumble at the start. I mean, it's amazing that this horse ran as good as it did. It only got beat 4.5 lengths after stumbling terribly at the start. This is a 4-year-old improving. I think that little extra, or adding the distance from 5.5 to 6 furlongs, I think this horse has a big shot. So my long shots I'm using are 1. I'm going to even use a 3, True Valor. I'm going to use Scuttlebuzz, of course, because that horse is sharp. The 9, Fiolo di Ariana. I know I'm messing that name up. And Chasing Artie. I'm going to make something happen here, and I feel real good about it.
It's real quick, and we'll move on. But like the Filo di Ariani, however you pronounce that, like you guys said, runs out of the mine, and then last time out, it happens. It's whatever. Right, the trip, the surface, whatever, and boom, you get 20-1. So
right. And look,
I think also, I think Tapping, you're a big proponent of this more so than I am. You like watching the replays. You got to go back and watch that turf sprint, that grade 2, because so many people so many of these runners coming out of that key race, and there was a lot of issues with a lot of different runners in that race. You could say Chasing Artie had problems. You could say Gear Jockey had problems. That is a race that you need to go back and look at. Okay, if you're like me, I don't like watching all the replays, but this is a replay that I suggest you guys take a look at that race because it is a key race.
Right. And look who won that race. That's Golden Pal, the filly of Wesley Ward. That's an absolute freak.
Monster. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a freak. So, I mean, and she goes to the front and just keeps going. Nobody can catch her. And she won that day by 4 3/4 lengths.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Hopefully we'll get a price here because we're kind of all over it. Now, this comes to the one that, what do you do here? We all love Flightline. Draws the rail. Speaker's Corner is super fast as well. They're right next to each other. Tiny field. Does Flightline clear? I mean, or does it do those two go bonkers and it sets up for somebody like you and I liked in the Breeders' Cup Sprint skipper Aloha West? I mean, my heart wants Flightline to win by 10. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. I haven't figured it out yet.
You know, if Flightline was drawn anywhere but the rail or outside of Speaker's Corner, I would say single. But, you know, I think Flightline's an absolute monster. This horse is a monster. I mean, look what it's done. 13 3/4 lengths, 12 3/4 lengths, 11 1/2 lengths. Never even been tested. I mean, it's just it's a freak. But coming from the rail, on the rail, coming from off a layoff, shipping across country, going a mile, with Speaker's Corner right on the outside, Alvarado's got to know. I mean, I'm sure Flightline's quicker, but I mean, they got to press. They got to be putting pressure on her and on him, and that's asking an awful lot coming off a layoff. So I'm going to try to beat Flightline. I think Aloha West, you know, maybe it needed that last race to Churchill Downs. It was on the rail. I think it's going to get a great trip, and I just don't see Speaker's Corner letting Flightline out of its sights. Maybe Flightline's just going to run them off their feet like it's done in the last 3 races. There's only 3 races. But this is a race where I'm going to try to beat one of the favorites. I'm going to use them, but I'm also going to use Happy Saver too. Happy Saver loves Belmont. It's won 3 out of 4 races there. It ran second to the horse that I've been talking about a lot, that Olympiad, who I think is a freak, you know, of Bill Mott's. So I'm going to use the 1, 3, and 4 and hoping that Flightline gets beat. But if Flightline wins, my heart's going to be happy because I love the horse. And, we'll see. It's interesting.
I'm sure the sheet numbers are crazy good on the one, George. One interesting thing is 2 of the 3 times, Flightline hasn't exactly broken very well either, which drawing the rail makes it very interesting too. Right. So what are your thoughts, Georgie?
So I tell you what, the Belmont Stakes, very exciting. It's the feature race there, and everybody, that's your marquee race. But this is the race I'm most looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, I know.
I can't wait to see this race.
I know.
The Belmont is cool, but there's no Triple Crown candidate. There's nobody that really appeals to my heart. Here we got a race where you got the one who certainly appeals to my heart, the Ronus Racing. Him and his wife and the whole gang, they're so easy to root for. And so is John Sadler. But, as opposed to, it's funny because, Skip is using the 1, 3, and the 4. I'm in a no-lose situation here because I am singling the 2 Speaker's Corner. And if the 1 wins, I'll be happy as heck as well. You know what I'm saying? I'll be out of every single bet because I am absolutely going to single Speaker's Corner. But I'll be happy if Flightline wins. Speaker's Corner has been in some battles where Flightline has never been in a battle. Right. Flightline is won by 10, won by 13, didn't break well in any of those races and still crushed the, Baby Yoda, Bruto. Who are they? Speaker's Corner is really, had a fight in the Discovery, had a fight breaking the maiden. He's getting better and better. You talking about Thoroughgraph numbers. Flightline's last was a -5. Speaker's Corner was a -4. So they're right on top of each other of spectacular races. Man, if you see a 0 or a -1, you go, wow. To have 2 horses in a race with a -5 and a -4, it's just outstanding. And I think that all the money's going to go out Flightline. If you happen to beat Flightline, it's going to pay off well in your multi-race bets. So I'm trying to beat Flightline, and I think that Speaker's Corner can do it.
George, you know, it's funny. You're right. Speaker's Corner's been on my horse to watch list. I mean, I just way back when, and I bet this horse every time. And it's so impressive. It loves Belmont Park too. I mean, maybe I better rethink things and put it in. I just have a feeling that those two could really compromise each other. And if Flightline doesn't win, I don't think Speaker's Corner is going to win, because Speaker's Corner is going to have to press, and that means Flightline's going to have to keep sending, and it's just they're going to take it out of each other, I think. Maybe they're just better than the rest of the horses, and that very well could be. But it'll be interesting. Like you said, this is a race I'm most looking forward to watching on Belmont Day. It's not I'm looking forward to the Belmont Stakes too, but this race right here is going to be very exciting.
Yeah. If Flightline breaks well, it's going to be interesting, because how close is Speaker's Corner sitting, right? Because head to head, Speaker's Corner's never gone sub 44 or sub 45 for the half, which Flightline does in his sleep, but Flightline's never gone a mile. So does Speaker Corner sit just off? What if Flightline doesn't break? It's a very, very interesting race for a 5-horse field, isn't it?
See,
fascinating.
And here's the thing. You know, Alvarado, like all jockeys, read the racing form. You know, they've heard about Flightline. I'm sure they've seen him over there at the track.
Yep.
They look at the past performances, and you know in his head, he's like, I think he's got to be right on top of this horse. You can't let it get clear. If it gets clear, the race is over. So there's going to be a lot of race riding. And, of course, Flightline is quicker, but that's why I think Speaker's Corner is going to be he's going to have to shove it. If it's not, that fast, he's going to be shoving to try to put pressure or at least stay close. So, and I think that might compromise his chances.
Well, we shall see. That's why they run them. And like you said, George, that's the race I'm looking forward to the most by far. So we took a long time on a 5-horse field.
Yeah, I know.
George, one of my favorites is running in the Manhattan, and that would be Gufo. Is Gufo the horse? I love Gufo, by the way. Does Gufo? Two things. Does Gufo win? And any word on Domestic Spending, who I was a huge fan of, I haven't seen shown up in quite some time.
I have not seen it on the workout reports or anything, so I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that one either. That one was one that you've been following a lot, Chappie, right?
Yeah. But I'm a big fan of Gufo, who absolutely flies home late. But what are your thoughts here, Georgie?
I thought a massively difficult race. I cannot talk you out of anyone, and I can't really talk myself out of into like singling one or even three. It's just a Gufo can run. Tokyo Gold coming here from overseas, ran a couple of sharp races here in the States. Santine is, it comes in tied for the best number with Channel Maker. They're both coming in with wins, and I wish I could tell you who I like in this race. It's going to take me another 6 days to figure it out, and the race is tomorrow, so I don't know how I'm going to do that. But it's a difficult race for me.
Skipper, spread race for you as well?
100% spread race. I'm a big fan of Gufo also. The last time it ran, I don't know if it was getting a hold of the ground real well. That was another rainy day, I think, at Belmont Park. The rain started coming. It says it was firm, but I don't know if it was necessarily firm that day. The race before, it looked great coming off the layup at Gulfstream Park. But this is a tough race. Chad Brown's got 1, 2, 3. He's got 4 horses in there, as he does in most of the turf races. But, how can you throw any of his horses out? All he does is win. He said that the 4 last time didn't like that race. That was that day at Churchill Downs on Kentucky Derby Day. He said that horse didn't get a hold of the turf that day for whatever reason. I'm spreading in there, and I'm going to hope to catch a long shot. I bet Highland cheap last time, or I used it, I should say, and it was great. It was 19-1, so I'm hoping something crazy like that happens again, and we'll see. But this is definitely a spread race for me.
All right, Georgie, now we get to the Belmont, and I got a feeling none of us are going to pick Rich Strike on top, the Kentucky Derby winner. But George, let's start it off with you. Is We the People looks like lone speed, but can We the People go this far? And if not, you look at somewhere else.
Yeah, We the People. I'm not sure what to make of the Peter Pan. Certainly had it all his own way there. So he won rather easily. I don't know if he's going to have it all his own way today. I think Creative Minister might go out there a little bit early. I'm not sure, but if he gets an easy lead, he got Pratt aboard. He's certainly one of the ones I'm using. He just ran the best thoroughgraph number of anybody. Ran a 0, and he's close. Rich Strike came from well out of it, but to me, it was a tale of two cities there. Rich Strike got one of the fastest, early fractions to run into. And Sonny Leone, I thought, rode him spectacularly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, gosh, he saved ground. He made the split-second decisions. They were all right. Everything worked into Rich Strike's favor. I don't think anything worked into Mo Donegal's favor. He was like 57 wide. He ran his heart out to be third, despite breaking slow. Had a lot of issues throughout the whole race. I think we're going to get a much improved effort from Mo Donegal. Is not going to find himself 10 wide going into the turn. And I think those are the two I'm going to be concentrating on. We the People that could steal it up front. And Mo Donegal, I thought, ran a fantastic derby and a gutsy performance in the Wood Memorial. So those are the two I'm using.
Skip, I'm kind of on Mo Donegal as well. We the People is interesting because of the lone speed, but right now I'm leaning towards Mo Donegal. I don't look at these races outside of California half as much as you guys do. So, Skip, what are your thoughts here?
I'm on Mo Donegal too. I've always thought that this horse would be a Belmont type horse. This is a plotter. He doesn't have that turn of foot. He just keeps coming and coming. And he loves Belmont Park with those big, wide, swooping turns. I'm worried that We the People is going to get loose on the lead. Right. And I know everybody says, oh, that race was on a good track. It wasn't that impressive. Well, it was impressive. And it did go to the front. Maybe it was a speed favoring track that day. But, I mean, Flavien Prat knows what he's going to do. He's breaking from the rail. He's going. If somebody wants to go try to put pressure on him, well, guess what? You're going to cost yourself the race, and you're not fast as We the People. The distance is a question, although, the way that it won the Peter Pan, I don't see the distance really being a problem. I'm on Mo Donegal. I think Pletcher's been pointing it towards this horse. I know it ran in the Derby, but it broke from the rail. It had trouble. I'm not using Rich Strike, and I know it could be improving, and that Derby run was unbelievable, breaking way outside and sweeping through traffic and getting up. And I know it's looked great on the track and in these workouts, but it needs to prove it one more time for me to use it. But my long shot in here is Golden Glider. I don't know if this horse could win. I know this horse will love the 1.5 miles. And I know that We the People just beat it by 10 3/4 lengths or 10 1/4 lengths. I'm not saying that Golden Glider would have won. It would not have won. But I think he would have got beat by maybe 5 lengths. Going into the turn, this horse had some trouble. He started to make a move, and 2 horses kind of closed off his little spot. So he had to take up a little bit. Turning for home, he's coming again, and he kind of got shut off again. He dove to the inside and came running late. This horse I'm using this horse in the tries and supers at 20-1. I think this horse is going to hit the board, and I'm using Mo Donegal on top. Maybe We the People also because it's only speed, but Golden Glider is going to be on underneath on everything for me. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. That's my long shot.
I love it. All right, not the biggest of fields, but some fascinating races to be sure. And let's just go with our best bets of the day tomorrow. Any track, anywhere. Georgie, you looking at Santa Anita, or are you staying out of Belmont?
Well, in Belmont, my key player that I'm going to be betting is Speaker's Corner because I think we're going to get a good price. So as far as bets are concerned, he's my best bet because I think Flightline is going to be such a big favorite, and Speaker's Corner is going to be favored as well. It's not going to be 10-1 or nothing. Obviously, it's going to be maybe 8-5, but I really like his chances. And at Santa Anita, my best bet does come in the Affirmed that we're going to talk about a little bit later. And if you want me to talk about it now,
let's talk about it now. I was gonna move on and not even talk about that, but let's do it, and then you'll use that as your best bet. We'll, I have a little few thoughts in this race as well. Go ahead, George.
So here's a race where you got half the field or more used to go run for Bob Baffert, right? All Bob Baffert runners in here. Doppelganger and High Connection and New Grange, and so a lot of them. But I really like High Connection. The debut was so impressive by High Connection. And I think you're going to get all of 2-1 because there's some other ones in here that could run. Doppelganger, Hopper, New Grange. And then last race, it didn't seem like much, but it was the first time that he was going 2 turns, 1 mile and a 16th. First time in a new barn. That stumble, it was a little bit of a stumble, but it was a very important stumble. He stumbled and then found himself in and amongst horses. He was surrounded by the 6-horse and the 4-horse that kind of like intimidated him a little bit. He finally broke through, and the one who won, Armagnac, just went to the lead and just kept on going. And that's a freakish performance by Armagnac. This time, second time going 2 turns. Hopefully won't be any stumbling. And you got our leading jockey aboard, J.J. Hernandez. I think, to me, one of the best bets of the day for me is High Connection in the Affirmed.
All right, real quick on that. I'll tell you, a horse who's working up a storm who I've never been a big fan of. Doppelganger is working like a monster in the morning. Has handled New Grange like nobody's business 2 works in a row. Just put that horse away. Like, if you watch it on XBTV, it's men amongst boys. I don't know what happened because I've never been a big fan, but it's given me a second look at Doppelganger, Skipper.
Wow, that's interesting. I haven't watched that. I didn't watch the workouts. I'll have to go back and do that. And it did get beat by Jack Christopher, who we talked about earlier at Belmont.
Right.
That's it.
And Hopper and High Connection are working together in the morning too. So go watch that. Very interesting.
Okay. You know, my best bet tomorrow is going to be at Belmont. I think Malahat's just going to get the perfect trip. This horse is a fighter. It wants to beat you, and that's going to be my best bet. I think it's going to be sitting right off of Latrushka and search results, and it's just going to turn for home. I think it's going to improve off that last race. It looked like it almost needed that race, and it still won easily. It's going to switch leads quicker, and I think she's just going to draw off and win. So the Ogden Phipps, race 7 at Belmont, Malahat is going to be my best bet.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to Santa Anita. I'm going to go to the very last race tomorrow, and the 10th race, 6.5 furlongs. And if the 13-horse Summer Lake draws in for Carla Gaines and Kyle Frey, that's going to be my top play of the day at 4-1. Had a lot of trouble last time out, and I like drawn outside this time. Go back and watch that replay. So, all right, gentlemen, good talking to you. Everybody, good luck tomorrow. Belmont Day should be a fascinating day. Let's get them this weekend. And then, of course, next weekend, closing weekend and mandatory payouts on Father's Day. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Take care, guys. Good luck, everybody.
Later.